Hello. Today I'm going to be doing some kind of quick reviews on these 7 mandolin cases that I've acquired one way or another, and probably wondering, why does this guy have 7 mandolin cases? Well, I have 3 mandolins right now, so I would expect that I would have at least 3 cases, but I kind of like nicer cases, so I've upgraded one of the cases, and a couple of these I just kind of bought out of curiosity because I thought they looked kind of neat. And so some of these I'm going to be selling, and some I'll be keeping, and then I've got a mandolin that I'm going to sell, and I don't really want to give away one of my nice cases that I usually keep it in, so I bought a kind of a cheaper case. So the 7 that I have here, these first 3 are kind of your higher end cases. That one is Calton, the first one, and then this one is a Hoffee, and then this one is Pegasus, and then these last 4 are kind of your more economy models, I guess. This is the Bobelock, and that's a superior A style. The rest of these are either F or A styles. That's the only one I have that's strictly an A style. And then I've got a Gator, and then a TKL Vectra. So I'll just go through all these as quickly as I can. And I'm trying not to make this too long of a video, but probably be at least 20 minutes. But anyway, this first one, I bought this new last year, and I just wanted a nicer case. And then I really never ended up using it. In the meantime, I ended up buying this Hoffee case, which I've had one of these in the past, and for some reason I sold it. And I thought maybe I liked the Calton better, but this time around, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of favoring the Hoffee a little bit better. But I'll show you things about this one. This is the newest style that they're making now down in Austin, Texas, and you can see right there it says "Made in Austin." But I'm not sure what really they improved on them. I had a Calton case quite a few years back, and I think it was one of the Canadian ones. And as a matter of fact, well, I'll tell you in a minute here, but it just has your standard latches on it. I think some of the improvements they made is putting these guards around the latches, and then putting these like feet or bumpers, whatever you want to call these, all around the case, because I don't think they had that in the past. I really can't remember. It's been a while since I've had the Calton, and the one that I had was quite a few years old, and I think it was made. I'm pretty sure it was made in Canada. But anyway, it has that new case smell, kind of that. It squeaks a little bit. I'm not sure if that's normal, but it's kind of a firm but soft padding at the same time. I don't really know if your case should have firm or soft padding. I know this is kind of a little bit of both, but I think I can fit my A or my F in here, so it looks like it's pretty universal. I just don't know if you could fit a left-handed in here, because you see this little notch here. I imagine they try to make these cases to where they'll fit as many mandolins as possible, but like that notch there is definitely for the F, and it doesn't have one over here. So like if you had a left-handed mandolin, I don't know that it would fit, although I think the scroll would fit fine up here. But I don't know that it's designed for anything other than a right-handed mandolin. But either an A or an F is going to fit good. And the thing that I like about this one, it's got a lot of neck support there. That's this cradle here. One of the things I don't like is that there's virtually no support under here for like what I would call whiplash, which, if your mandolin had maybe fallen on this side, the neck had went back like that, or the headstock. I don't know there's much really under there that would help it. And I notice my battery's low, so I'm just going to hook up to battery here. I'm using my phone. So, okay, that should get us going. So anyway, it does have a little bit of padding there for the tailpiece, a little bit here for the neck, but nothing up here on the headstock. So that's probably the only thing I really don't like about this case. Well, there's 2 things. One is the lack of any support under here for the headstock, and then another thing that I noticed, that if you don't have a mandolin in there, it almost tends to kind of fall back, like all on its own almost. It doesn't take much to tip it back. It's almost like it's just teetering on falling back. I don't really care for that too much. But other than that, I mean, it's I think it's a pretty nice case. I think one of the improvements they had made over the years, one that I had read about, is that the mandolins used to get the scrolls broke off because I guess this was sat so close over here, and I notice now it sits pretty far away. I'm pretty sure that's one of the improvements they made. I'm not 100% sure. I know my last one that I had, it sat really right up close to that, and I ended up selling it on eBay, and actually David Grisman bought it, of all people. But anyway, I sold that one quite a few years ago, and this is the only other Calton that I've had, and this is the newest one. And so, again, I think it would fit an A or an F. I just don't think it would fit a left-handed F. Probably would fit a left-handed A. But you know, this is, I think I spent $765 on this, and I think they might have gone up a little bit in price. So I'm just going to try to get my money back out of this one, because I actually like the Hoffee better. And a lot of people debate over the Calton and the Hoffee. You know, people have their favorites. I think the Calton's maybe just a little bit smaller height-wise. It's probably about an inch or so smaller height-wise, and maybe a little bit narrower in depth. I don't know, not too much, but I actually like this Hoffee out of those two. I think it's a pretty well-rounded case. It has a lot of features on it that I like. It's got the 3 latches. It's got the D-rings here and there, so you can put a strap on it. I don't know about this, how protective this is. I've heard some things that maybe it's not the most impact resistant carbon fiber. I don't really know. Or I've heard people say, you know, if it gets damaged once, that's it. But I don't really know. I don't impact test my cases or anything, and I don't plan to have them be impacted. But you know, it's just a lot of what I like is on the inside of the case, is how well it's going to, you know, survive the inside. And this one to me just has a lot of features. I think this is kind of the same as the Calton in that you can put an A or an F in here, but probably not a left-handed, because I don't see the cutout here, whereas there is one over here for the little point that comes off the F-style mandolin. So, but it will fit with a tone guard in place, and same with the Calton. That's one nice thing. The Fs that I put in here, for even the A's, they fit with or without the tone guard. But this one has a lot better pronounced padding here, here, and here on the top. So the headstock, the neck, and the tailpiece all have top support. And it has a nice cradle for the neck. And then this is actually built up here. This is the one feature that I really like, is the headstock is going to have that support. And then it's got enough space in here. It's actually a pretty roomy compartment for a mandolin case for strings or whatever. I think it would be nice if they made this into a lift up, since they kind of got it built up. It'd be nice if, you know, there was another compartment there, but there's not. But it fits the F or an A really good. So I just think it's an all-around good case. Now, this one actually has the thin slate in it, which is an option. I think these run new, I don't know, somewhere over $1,000, I think, or somewhere in that area. I only paid $650, but it was used, and I think I got a pretty good deal. But it's got good support everywhere. That's what I like about it. And as far as the thin slate goes, I wouldn't pay extra for it. I kind of think it's I don't know, I wouldn't really say a scam, but I just don't think it's really buying you a whole lot for what you spend. I actually live in North Dakota, and quite a few years ago, I had one of these with a thin slate, and I had a case cover for it too. And like, I put it in the car just without a mandolin in it, and I just put a thermometer in it, and like, I did it with and without the case cover. And then I had another mandolin case, I think it was this one here, that I put in there because it didn't have the thin slate, and just compared, like, was the thin slate buying me anything? Was the case cover helping out any? And it's like, I have a case cover for this one, so I think I tried both with and without the case cover. And then that one obviously doesn't have thin slate, like I told you, and this one does. So, like, I tried to see if there was any difference, just, you know, storing it in a really cold environment for a while. you know, the thermometers were like the same temperature in all configurations, whether it had thin slate or not, or whether it had a case or not. So I don't know. To me, I've just never been impressed with thin slate to begin with. I remember when that stuff came out as a kid, they put it in gloves, and I just never really thought that gloves were all that much warmer than a regular glove. But anyway, that's that. That's my favorite out of those two, is the Hoffee. Just because I think it's got that extra support in the headstock, and I just like that it doesn't tip back when you got the case sitting there empty. So probably those are the two reasons I would favorite over the Calton. Otherwise, the Calton, I think it has a little bit nicer size, a little more shorter, a little bit thinner, I think. This is my favorite of all the cases I have, and the reason being several reasons. One is I like these latches. Like, they're just, you don't have to flip that normal part of the latch out, the little bar, and you just push that up and it's closed already. So open, close. And so that's really quick. But the only problem is there's like 6 of them all around this case, so you got a lot of them to do. There's most latches, or most cases only have 3 latches, but this case is made in Scotland. I bought it used. I think I paid around $6.50 for it, and it came with a nice small dog cover. $700 maybe, I don't remember. It's been quite a few years, but it's got this tab here, so like you don't have to try to pry your case open, or if your case is so airtight that it's kind of airlocked, you know, you just pull up on this and it comes up pretty easily. And then the inside has all the features that I like. It has a nice padding. You can tell by these markings that I've had a tone guard on the mandolin. It'll fit in here with the tone guard on it. It has these bumpers up here, wherever you want to call these things. And then it's got cradle for the neck support. Got a small compartment there. But it's also got another compartment here. And actually it kind of goes underneath, so you can fit strings in there or whatever. But it's built up so you don't get that whiplash. And so I think those are all features that, to me, really are nice to have on a mandolin case, especially, you know, if you got a higher end mandolin. And this one, I think I was lucky to find it kind of in this color combination, because I don't know, Scotland, maybe it's just the people of that country or whatever, but they have some funky looking interiors, like they're plaids and stuff, and I just don't care for that. I like solid colors, I guess. So I was lucky to find one that wasn't too offensive and obnoxious. But there's my and I've had this case for quite a few years. I usually keep a Parsons mandolin in here, but this is a Kettler that I have right now. But it fits really good. Nice support there. It's got, again, these things, whatever you want to call those, little biscuits or whatever. But I like, this is probably my favorite case, just because it's no bigger than what it needs to be. It's got all the features that I consider important in a mandolin case. Again, cushion up here, nice cushion here, neck support, and then whiplash support. It's got nice latches on it. And then, see if there's something else I was going to say, but and it will fit the tone guard, and it's got a nice, well, again, this thing, and then it's really easy to close. To me, probably my favorite case out of all of them. But it comes with a nice small dog cover, at least the one I bought. I don't think they come with those standard, but the guy I bought it off of included one, and it's this one here. So you keep it protected from scratches, and might offer a little heat in the winter, but I don't put a whole lot of stock in case covers or insulate kind of stuff. Especially with temperatures I have here in North Dakota, it's just not something. It might buy you a little more time walking in and out of a building before your mandolin might get exposed to some colder temperatures. But anyway, those are the kind of 3 upper end cases: the Calton, the Hoffee, and the Pegasus that I have. Again, they're all probably $600-700 used, maybe $1,000 new or $800 new. I don't know, whatever. And then these are kind of the budget cases that I have. That one there is a Bobelock, that is a Superior, that is a Gator, and that's a TKL. And so I'll go through these 4 here. And there's features that I like about this one, but there's one feature about it I don't like. And originally I bought this one because I thought the price is pretty good. And the thing I like the best about this is these latches, because you don't even have to pull out on this or anything like I did on that on the Pegasus case. These actually, once you flip them, they're open. You don't have to pull out or push back to latch it. And I think that's the coolest latch I've seen on any case by far. And then it's got the D-rings on it on both sides. It's got a D-ring back here if you want to do like a backpack strap. I think you could just do one here up to here, back down to that other side. And then it's got these little feet and bumper guard things. So it's got a lot of, you know, for I think $200 to $300 for this case. It's got some nice features. Just there's one fatal flaw that I bothers me. It may not bother somebody else. Is that it has this big open area here with no headstock support. But it does have, you know, a tiny little accessory compartment, and it's got some neck and tailpiece cushioning in the lid. It seems to have a pretty decent padding. There's actually padding here and here, and then I believe I've been able to put a tone guard on the Mandolin and put it in here if I remember correctly. This one actually comes with a hygrometer that's already installed. It's got the Bobelock name badge there. I don't know that I really care for this too much. It's kind of keeps your neck or your mandolin in place, but I just, you know, I bought this online, thought it was pretty nice until I really realized about that compartment being wide open there, and then this is kind of a loose fit. But I mean, even if you tighten this, mine still kind of wiggles around in here a little bit. I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing. But there's just absolutely no support under here, which I think is kind of a fatal flaw. Otherwise, I think it's a pretty nice case. But I'll be selling this one, I think. And a lot of people like these, though. I mean, it's fiberglass. I don't know how protective that is. You know, you can kind of push on it and make it move a little bit, but for the most part, it seems pretty sturdy. It's not like we're out and going to battle with our mandolin cases, so you know, as long as you're not abusing it, I think you're going to do okay. I think sometimes we worry too much about something that we're probably never going to have happen to our instruments. And I keep my stuff insured anyway, so even if the case fails, I've got financial backup, I guess. And this is a case that comes either an A or an F. Most of these other cases I've shown you will fit an A or an F, but this one specifically only fits an A, but they do make it for an F. It's a superior fiberglass case. I think these run maybe around $100, or I can't remember. I got this one when I bought my Sorensen mandolin. That's what he was shipping. I bought an AX mandolin, and that's what he was shipping them out with at the time. I think now he's upgraded to the Hoffee, which is where I actually keep my Sorensen, but this is the only A that I have, and it actually fits pretty good. It's just very standard case. I don't know if there's anything special. There's just a tiny bit of padding up here. You can hardly see it. A little bit here. So there is, you know, padding on top of those two areas on the lid, but there's, you know, kind of open down here underneath the neck. So there's not, or I mean the headstocks. There's not a lot of support there. But there's two areas right there to support the neck. Just a very standard case. I'm only hanging on to this one just in case I sell this mandolin down the road. I'll just sell it back out in the case that it came in. But when I keep it stored here at home, I keep it in the Hoffee. That's been its home. And then the last two cases I have, the only reason I really have this Gator is because I'm going to be selling that Kettler mandolin that I keep putting in these cases. And it came, the guy I bought it from, he sent it in a soft shell Gator case, and I actually gave that away to somebody because it wasn't in greatest condition. But I just didn't really feel comfortable shipping it in a soft shell case, so I upgraded. This is, I think, $100. I upgraded to this, and that's the only reason I really ever buy this case. It's about the third one I've had. Is like when I'm selling a mandolin, and maybe it came in a really bad case, and I want to upgrade the case to something that'll, you know, survive being shipped. I just buy this one, and at least it gives somebody half a decent case once they get it, instead of having a cardboard case or something. Or maybe, you know, it's like this one is one of my higher end mandolins, and normally I would probably keep it like in one of these cases at home, or when I travel, use one of these cases. But if I'm don't want to give away my nice cases when I sell something, I usually just get a cheap case. And also it helps, I think, sell a mandolin sometimes to have a lower price point. Like if I was going to sell this mandolin for, say, $5,000 or whatever, well, if I'm going to put it in a nice case, I'm going to have to add another $700 probably to the price of the case, if not more, or the mandolin, if not more. So that just makes it more out of reach for somebody's pocket, whereas maybe they can afford something a little bit less if I just put it in a cheap case, and then they can upgrade down the road. So a lot of times I just, to keep the price point down of a nicer mandolin, I will just try to buy this case that I think will ship in pretty well, but not break the bank for somebody. And then this one is one that I bought online recently, and I haven't even used it. And it's called a TKL Vectra, and I don't know if they're just starting to make these or they're actually discontinuing them. I can't figure it out because I hardly see any online. It was hard to find one, and there's not much information on them, so I don't know if they were a flop and they just quit making them, or they're starting to make them. It's kind of a mystery. But the thing I like about this thing is number one, it's thin, really, really thin, and then it's got like the toughest material I've seen on any case. You can hardly even push the thing in. So it's really a tough material on the outside, but and it's got the D-rings on it here, and just your standard latches. And then the inside, I think they could have done a little bit nicer job, but it's not bad. I just wish there was a little bit bigger accessory compartment to it. But it's it's got your padding all the way around, and then it's even got some up here in the lid, and then this is built up a little bit to avoid that whiplash. So, and then it's got some neck support there, but it's probably not the most protective on the inside, but I think the outside is probably maybe the most protective case I have out of all of them. So I don't know about this one. I haven't decided whether I'm going to keep this one or try to sell it and get my money back out of it. I just kind of wanted to check it out. I just thought how thin it was kind of cool, traveling and just don't want to have a big case. This is actually, I might use it for just, traveling, throwing stuff in the car and going, because it's such a thin case, and I think it would protect pretty good impact on the outside, and the inside, with all this up in the padding up here, I think it'd be okay. But I think if they were really going to make this a successful case, they'd probably redo the inside a little bit. At least I would. But otherwise, it's not a bad little case. I think this one is right around $300, which is probably a little overpriced in my opinion. But the Bobelock there probably is, I think $260. I think is what those go for. That's probably about what this should maybe go for. I don't know. It's not. I don't think it's too badly overpriced, but it's depends on what features you want. I mean, you can tell it's a lot thinner than these other cases. So that is kind of a review of all these cases, and I don't know if it helps anybody. It might be in the market for one. If you guys are looking for something that just kind of gives you an idea of a lot of these different cases. I just happen to have all 7 of these on hand, which is pretty rare. I usually would only have maybe 2, 3 at the most, and I just end up happen to have some extras for now. So I thought while I have these, I'm going to do kind of a review. But again, my favorite out of all of them is that one, just because of all the features it has. The Hoffee would be my second, and then probably that one, if it wasn't for that hollow area in the center, would be my next favorite. But if not, I might have to say this TKL, just because it seems like it's pretty bulletproof. But I really like these 2 the best. Those are the 2 that I would choose. They're a little more expensive, but they're going to offer a little more protection than these others here. At least these 3. So there it is. Thanks.